As we conclude Sefer Vayikra, wanted to share with you a certain progression in Parsha's Bechukotai. But we know a fundamental belief is that we know we're rewarded for our good deeds, we're punished for our bad deeds. But it's not as simple as that. Rabbi Yonah, in his Shar Sheni of Shari Tshuva, explains that when we have sorrows that happen to our life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us a gift. And he says, it's not only when I'm pure and I'm able to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but when there's sorrows, and through the sorrows, I'm able to return to Hashem, to see Hashem's hand in this world, then again, HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgives us. As he quotes in a Chidush later on, later on in Dvarim, Umitza'u ra'ot rabot v'tzarot, and I say, because God wasn't with me, as opposed to interpersonal relationships, where only if I need you, then I come and turn to you and I'm having sorrows. So then, or you wronged me and now I need you and I come back to you. And he quotes from Yiftach HaGiladi in Shoftim, that you would say, Madua bata milai, why are you coming to me now? You hated me. But this type of sorrows, that you're able to do tshuva, even from the sorrows, is one of the chesed of Hashem. That we live a time of life when not everything is all hunky-dory. And it's a chesed of Hashem that we return to Hashem even when kashalta ba'avonecha, even when things aren't doing well. But in the Tochacha, it's fascinating. Because if I had to ask you, what was the worst thing that's going to happen when it says V'im lo tishmu li in chapter 26, Perach Chavav, starts in Pasuk Yudaleh. You would think, if you don't listen to me, Hashem says, what am I going to do? I'm going to give you all these terrible diseases, these terrible plagues of mechalot einayim, of behala, shachefer, kadachat, and your enemies are going to consume you. You would think that that's pretty bad. Rabbi Yonah's mechandish, there's actually a progression. That's only the beginning. And if you look at the psukim with me, he says if that doesn't help, in Pasuk Yudchet, it goes, and you ignore it. It's going to go sevenfold. If you don't listen, and you think it's just mikre, it's just by chance, then Hashem is going to give you another clap in order for you to be able to pay attention. But then, if again, v'im talchui mikari, then there's, I just read, Perach Chavav, Pasuk Yudchet, a couple of Pasukim later, Chav Aleph, V'im telchui mikari v'lo tovu lishmo ali. You don't want to listen to me. It's a choice. V'yasavti alechem maka sheva kichatotechem. Another sevenfold. And if that doesn't help, what's the worst thing? The worst thing is, you go a couple more Pasukim Chav Gimon, Chav Daled. V'im be'ela lo tivasruli v'alachtemi mikari. If this doesn't help and you go with me, that's the way. It's not just in thought, Kerry, but that's the way you live your life. Falachti in Pasuk Chavdalin, af ani machem bekeri, v'iketi etchem gam ani sheva al chatotechem. Rabbi Yonah explains that if you don't realize that it came from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's going to go. It goes even worse. Is when it's Hashem's going to go with us via Kerry, but rather, we have to realize that when this musar happens, when things happen, we have to go, Rabbi Yonah explains, of tsarav yagon and tzah, uv'shem Hashem ekra, that we have what the Mishnah in Brachot says in chapter 9, kishem shemevarchem ala tova kach mevarchem ala ra. The Rav Soloveitchik asked, just the same enthusiasm you're going to give bracha to Hashem for the good and for the bad? It can't be. It means that when good happens to us, we recognize it and we give the bracha. That's the baruch. We recognize that God is the source of everything. So too when sorrows are happening, we have to be able to recognize that it's not mikre, but rather that we have to realize that we're walking with Hashem, that Hashem is walking with us. And this is the goal. In the army, Alex Katz said over in last week's Shabbaton, the first thing they tell you is, what is your matara? What's the long-term vision? Because if you lose the goal, you lose the map, the blueprints, So then what you're doing, you're losing your derech. And that's what we see from the beginning of this parsha. That the curse is that you lose the derech. You come up with excuses, you ignore the yisurim that are happening, you say it's a mikra, to the point that Hashem himself will walk with you mikra, as opposed to the different type of walking. As opposed to the difficulty of not just sorrows, but of Bechukotai teilechu. That it's the halicha, what Chazal tell us, that that's the amilud b'Torah. To be able to work through the Torah learning, the amelus, and also a different type of halicha that we find in this week's parsha, of v'natati mishkani b'tochachem, v'hit halachti b'tochachem. Right before the tochacha. What type of halicha is it going to be in your life? We get to choose. Is it a halicha of carry, to by chance, or is it a halicha of the hit halachti b'tochachem, as the Sforno here explains? In the first Batei HaMikdash, the matara was to get to the Beit HaMikdash. Each step, the halicha was just a means to the end. As opposed to mit halech, is that every step of the way you have an escort of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Everywhere you're walking, you know you have a matara, and your misima is the halicha of understanding, even if there's sorrows, you know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is escorting with you. That we know when we're going to have the Beit HaMikdash HaShlishi. That's what we have right now. We have this Geulah process, where every step of the way, we know that that is what we want. The halicha of not carry, but the halicha of im Bechukotai telechu, and also v'talachti b'tochachem. Shabbat shalom.